going to call our February board meeting to order. Thank you all for coming, and we apologize for the late start. Can we please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome again. You see our board is slightly a little bit different this evening. And so we have our Associate Superintendent, Dr. Rodney Lewis, who is now at my side, and I'm going to turn over the comment section to you.
Thank you so much. So for those of you that do not know me, I am Rodney Lewis. I'm the Associate Superintendent. Typically, when you come to a board meeting, I'm sitting over there and I never say anything. Yeah. All of my work is done at about 6 o'clock or 5:30, depending. But in my time as, taking Jason's place since he's been out of town feels like when I was a principal, we had principal of the day. And that's when a third grade student or a fourth grade student would win principal of the day. They would come into my office, and then I would walk around the school and be in the cafeteria supervising, and then they would supervise with me. And then at the end, I would call their parents. I feel like Jason needs to call my mom and say, Rodney did a good job today. So also in being superintendent, I made a superintendent's to-do list today because even sitting here just feels so much different than sitting over there. Like I see the whole thing. So one thing I did was make small talk with Kelly. That's what superintendents do. They make small talk with Kelly Pendleton. Okay. The next thing I did was I had Chris Bennett brief me on the public relations going around the district. So all of the good things. So he briefed me on that. But I knew I had to reach my turning point in acting superintendent when I got my first text about weather. The weather, yes. I feel like when you're a superintendent, if you're in this position as superintendent for a day and you don't get a text about the weather, you're not even acting as a superintendent. But getting a text from an administrator about what the weather looks like was a home run for me. So I've earned my stripes. All right, let me give you 3 quick updates. So we have our SPED coordinator. The board has approved Amy Sensabaugh. Amy Sensabaugh is currently residing in Hawaii. So when you say that, you're thinking, well, why would you want to come from Hawaii to St. Charles? St. Charles is a beautiful place, by the way. But she is married to her spouse is in the military, and they're relocating here, and she is fantastic. And I think our secondary, who she would primarily be working with, is really going to enjoy working with her. The next thing is that obviously I am here sitting for Jason, but also normally if you come to a board meeting, you see Dr. Draper. They're in Portland, Oregon, with some of our Lincoln staff members who've received a prestigious award from DESE. So kudos to Lincoln Elementary let's give them a round of applause. And last but not least, February is Black History Month, and obviously we're celebrating African Americans whose contributions and legacy has laid the groundwork for our beautiful nation, and our schools are using many innovative ways to highlight this month. If you would indulge me, boy, I guarantee you wherever Jason Todd see for this, he is watching this board meeting right now. So if you don't mind, can we all just say hi, Jason, because the camera right there? We know he's there. Somebody's watching. Thank you.
You're right. Okay. Item 3.04, board communications. We have none. Item 3.05 is our audience comment time. And if you'll read our disclaimer.
Board communications, y'all were supposed to discuss community events.
Oh, we were.
Parade.
Yes. I'm backing up. I'm going to back up. I'm sorry. We do have something under board communications. For all of us, there are opportunities for our board coming up to participate in the March St. Patrick's, that's it, the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And we thought we would bring that to the board to get their feelings on if any of you would like to participate, and maybe, and Karen can give us some details, but you have to turn on your,
The Ancient Order of Hibernians have offered to let us walk with them, and they have at least 3 seats on the float. So I'll walk. If the people who can walk will walk. Kelly said we could get some candy to throw. Sounds like a fun day, a lot of families. It is a family event. It clearly says that on the
and the date?
brochures. I think it's the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Sunday the 17th, and, yeah, on Main Street. Should be a good time. Most of us go anyhow.
Yeah.
So I would like to go. I think it would be a nice community event.
Well, we might at least see if there's a number interested, because if it's more than 3, or do you want
Well,
to just walk?
I'll walk,
Oh,
yeah.
well, I'm riding on a float.
What time is it? I forgot. I think it's in the afternoon.
I think at 3.
Yeah, 3. So you don't have to get up early and eat barbecue afterwards.
You have to have corned beef and cabbage.
Corned beef and cabbage, that's what the O'Hearns will be having.
Right.
Yeah.
So to let maybe Ellen know, or, no, who's doing the
Oh, yeah,
the
Ellen
float?
from the order,
Yeah.
yeah, she already knows.
Does
I
she-
mean, we
Does
just,
she need a number?
I don't think so. Yeah.
All right, so,
I told her 2 or 3 on the float, and no problem,
okay,
so.
we might bring this up again on the 4th of July parade.
Yeah, and some of our CO team's going to be there, too, I know that.
Okay, all right, so we did want to get that to your attention, and in the past, Laurie, we've been on the board long enough, we used to, we're good candy throwers. Yeah, okay, yeah, watch out, because I zing you with it. Okay. Okay, well, thanks for reminding me of that. Audience comments, we are ready for that now. And now if you will read that section.
All regular and special meetings of the board shall be open to the public. Since the board desires to be a good listener and be responsive to the community, persons desiring to address the board may do so during the time so allotted on the agenda and according to established procedures. During the audience portion of each board meeting, patrons are invited by the president to speak for or against any proposal on the tentative agenda or any other school concern. The individual is asked to identify him or herself, limit comments to 3 minutes, and avoid discussing personalities. The president reserves the right to limit the number of presentations and/or length of comments. At the discretion of the president, patrons may be recognized at other times during the board meeting. The board is very interested in audience comments. According to board policy, members cannot respond during the actual meeting. The board will listen to audience comments. If necessary, additional follow-up will occur through district administrators.
Okay, thank you. So we have several audience comments, and the first one is Addie and Adrian.
Hello, school board. I hope everyone's doing well today with all the sicknesses and allergies that are going around right now. My name is Addie, and I'm here with my best friend, Adrian. We both attend school at Jefferson Intermediate School. Adrian and I are here to discuss school lunch, as well as some other concerns. Adrian and I were here a few months ago, and we discussed school lunch with you, and you picked the same lunch company again, even though they have not made good food for us, and you have gotten complaints from students and other residents in the St. Charles School District. Last time we were here, we talked about the pizza, blueberries, fries, grilled cheese, nachos, chicken patty, and cheeseburger. We told you they were absolutely horrid, and we were informed that the cost of Chartwell's is cheaper than the other company options, but the food is not filling, nutritious, or good. And you still picked Chartwell's because it was cheaper, and that makes me feel as if you don't care for the betterment of our students in lunch. And we have had before teachers say, but it's edible. But imagine eating Play-Doh. It's non-toxic and edible. Or a frozen fry. It's edible, but it's not good or okay to be selling people, especially people's children. Some people have to eat school lunch every single day. And if they are going home and eating dinner right away because they didn't eat good lunch, don't you see a problem? Well, I definitely do. So something needs to be done. So I have a challenge for you. How about you show up and eat lunch at our school? Don't say you're coming, just show up. And just eat the school lunch and try it for yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Addie. Last time we were here, November 9th, 2023, me and Addie asked for better lunches and a change. It seems like we have not had a change and have ran into more problems than solutions. For example, I asked a lunch teacher to take a photo of food I was served, and she said, and I quote, "I'm not getting involved because last time you were at the school board meeting, you spoke only lies and talked about food we do not even serve here." I'm a sixth grader, and that was said to me. I was in shock. Another example is my best friend Aaliyah, who cannot be here today. She knows one of the lunch ladies outside of school. Aaliyah was getting food one day, and the lunch lady told her, "I hope you were not one of the girls who went to the school board meeting trying to get me fired. Your instructor wouldn't be very happy to hear that." If us coming here about getting school lunches changed is a very big problem, something needs to be changed because you're choosing yourself over students. Food needs to get changed even though it's edible. Is it acceptable? Please think about what was said and make a good decision. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Our next card is Teresa Litznich.
You said that well. My last
been
name
working
well.
on it. I've been
Good
working on
job. Good job. My name is Teresa Linsnick, a mom of a St. Charles High grad, taxpayer, and substitute in the district. I want to thank the board members and administration for their efforts in helping our students succeed, especially the board members who are not paid, yet you take the time to do research of the school topics, to meet with your constituents, to be in meetings even when you aren't appreciated or sometimes feel attacked. You are doing it for the children. I was reminded of you this morning during my Bible time. I read about Aaron, Moses' brother and a leader of Israel. When Aaron appeared before the Lord, he had to wear a breastplate embedded with jewels, and the names of the sons of Israel was on the breastplate so that he represented the Israelites. Trust me, I'm going someplace with this. Exodus says, "Thus Aaron will always bear the means of making decisions for the Israelites over his heart before the Lord." So it says, Aaron will always bear the means of making decisions for the Israelites over his heart before the Lord. See, I was reminded of you all making decisions for the children and having the means to make decisions. Then I happened to read in Matthew's gospel today, Jesus said, "Whatever you do for the least of these brothers of mine, you do for me." You hold these kiddos in your heart. You have the means to make decisions for them, and you actually are doing it for the Lord since the Lord made them. Then I thought of a constitution, our Constitution saying to be governed by the people. We realize that the United States is not like some other nations who, in the name of unity, do not allow vigorous debate. We all know that this is false unity because they do not allow the debate. When we are governed by the people, there is freedom to debate. It truly is amazing at the end of the day that decisions are made. What I'm saying is, you have unity as a school board and administration because you are here to do the best thing for the children. And you hold these kiddos in your heart, you have the means to make decisions for them, and you actually are doing it for the Lord. Thank you.
The next card is Megan Purcell.
And then we have myself and then Megan Mills. Can she speak right after me? Can we keep it in that order?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Hi there, our names are Megan Purcell and Megan Mills, and we are fifth grade teachers at Jefferson. We have a combined experience of 32 years in this district at Jefferson and have never felt the need to speak up at a board meeting about anything related to our district or our school until now. We have other teachers and staff members who stand with us tonight. Our guidance department is one busy place. We have 2 guidance counselors, each responsible for one grade level of 350 students, a phenomenal registrar who greets and loves on kids, and a social worker who supports all kids. Unfortunately, with ESSER funds being no more, we were recently told we are unable to keep our social worker. We wanted to take this opportunity to share what Emily Gerlin, our social worker, has done for the students on our team in her short time at Jefferson. We have outside counseling services come in to support students with weekly visits. Unfortunately, our school has such high needs that we have a wait list for these programs. Students who are in need of mental health support and are able to receive these services because we just don't have enough people. This happened to multiple students of ours, and Miss Emily jumped right in and began meeting with them and checking in on them. Miss Emily met weekly with a student who had been through unimaginable trauma. She helped her start a business, reinvest in herself, and connected her family with outside resources to try and help them make it. This student was a Love Award winner, and there's no doubt in my mind that positive support from Miss Emily is key in helping her continue to follow a safe and honest path. Another student who relies on Miss Emily is a student who lost her mother to cancer in a matter of weeks from diagnosis to her passing. The original hospital visit occurred while the family was in Florida to celebrate the wedding of her mom and now stepfather. Her father passed away when she was just a baby. She is now living in the blended family, but without both of her biological parents, and the student has no other counseling support aside from the time that she spends with Miss Emily. Dealing with the trauma of this unimaginable loss while finding her place in her new family reality is something that no 10-year-old should experience alone. And without the support of a social worker, she would have no access to therapy to deal with the loss. Emily is a pivotal piece of our plan to make sure kids are coming to school and not falling through the cracks. She met with every single family at conferences in the fall to come up with a plan and also give them tough love about the importance of sending kids to school. She balances love and support while also giving them a dose of reality that keeping kids home and not sending them to school is not only serious, but also something they will be held personally accountable for. Watching her navigate these conversations is just incredible.
Our first week back from break, Miss Emily was put to work with a student who lost everything in a house fire and another student whose family was reporting abuse to law enforcement. I found about both of these things shortly before school started these mornings and was unable to do anything because, teaching kids. Miss Emily reached out to both families and the police department before I was even able to check my email at lunch. That's Miss Emily. She's a go-getter and is the first to jump in and support kids and their families. Miss Emily has helped to create a focus group for newcomer English language learners who have been in the United States for 2 years or less. She helps the students navigate the trauma of moving to a new country, missing family, leaving unsafe living conditions, dealing with times of war and loss, and moving to St. Charles, Missouri, a place where few people speak their language or represent their culture. She has created a safe place for the time the students value. They count on down to the minutes until they can have their circle with Miss Emily on Tuesdays. Not only is this circle immeasurably meaningful to our students, but it has become a point of pride for our district among the ELL teaching community in the greater St. Louis area. No other school offers a group therapy time with a trained social worker for students to safely share their emotions. Her work is noticed and notable. Miss Emily is in constant contact with building principals, our resource officer, DJOs, and many, many other outside resources that fit the needs of our kids. If she is not there to communicate between these agencies, there is absolutely no way that kids will get what they need for teachers to understand what is being done to support these kids. With one counselor for 350 plus kids, the workload is not only impossible, but puts the needs of our kids at risk to slip through the cracks at a very pivotal time in their lives as to whether they will live a productive life in our community or one that they will become a part of the system in the future. These stories are just from our one team of 45 kids. We have 16 teams in our building, all with stories like ours that Miss Emily supports. The teachers behind us can vouch for that, and we aren't going to be able to meet the needs of our kids or our building without her. We are asking you to please take another look. Find the money for a full-time social worker at Jefferson, because we would all be devastated not to have Miss Emily, but the vulnerable population of kids and families who depend on her to provide support and connect them to resources, they're the ones who are truly going to be at a loss next year and the years going forward. Please know that this is coming from a place of understanding that these decisions cannot be made lightly and are extremely difficult. We know and respect the tough choices that have been made in order to make our district as great as it is. We thank you for your time and for the efforts that you've made to help both of us personally as teachers and our building. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. Our last card is Shelley Gowan. Gowan? Gowan.
It's okay, I'm forgivable. Everybody always mispronounces it.
Good evening. I thank you for your time and allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Shelley Gowan, and I'm a mother of 3 adult children and 10 awesome grandchildren. 5 of those grandchildren are in the St. Charles School District. 2 of them have graduated, and I've got 3 left that are in both high schools. All of them started at Blackhurst. I love the St. Charles School District, obviously. In the past 9 months, I have faced some concerns with our library system. This is not the St. Charles, our St. Louis County Library, and I have spent much time addressing many books that are currently on the library shelves that are full of adult content that should not be allowed in the hands of children. I am also aware that some of these books are also in our St. Charles school libraries. I am in the process of locating which ones, but find this task to be difficult and overwhelming, which should not be. I have left 4 messages with 4 grade school librarians who have not returned any of my calls. I find the link not to be user-friendly to determine what books are in our libraries, our school libraries. However, I did find that we have one, and in my searches just began, one is just enough. This book is called Sex is a Funny Word, and just tonight I was made aware of another one. So actually this one concerns me, they both concern me, but this one is in our book fair, and it is called Melissa. I feel uncomfortable with reading some of the contents in it. If you would like, just please tell me to stop. And this is what is being exposed to our children. She emerged her body.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
I don't know
Okay.
that we should read that aloud.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to make a point here. This is a book that should be written consent by a parent to even buy. I'm concerned that some of the parents are unaware what's in the content, and we need to pursue this matter with caution and make aware that these books are inappropriate. This book, Melissa, is so sexually graphic, it just makes me really nauseous. Exposing kids to sex at an early age increases the risk of sexual activity, sexual transmitted diseases, etc. This is called grooming. We need to be more careful at the contents that our children are reading in this day and age. Unless we read these books ourselves and be aware of what is written, that's the only way to stop this problem. We need to focus on education and not allow books that confuse gender, confuse sex, AKA grooming. I have a list of just 10 books that I'm very concerned about. The list keeps growing and
Ma'am,
growing.
Your time limit is up.
Thank you.
Can you sum that last?
That's it, and I appreciate that. I am trying to, just my concerns here, and I hope that I have sparked an interest in every one of you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That is the end of our audience comments. So we're going to take a short 5-minute, I'm putting us on the clock, 5-minute break. And if those of you who have other things to do on this, if it's still nice outside, it was a beautiful day, this is your time to make a break for the door. And we'll take a short 5-minute break. Oh, my mic wasn't on.
Now it's turn on. It's on now.
I know it wasn't. We're ready for item 3.06, and this is, I need a motion to amend or adopt the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda as presented.
I second Heidi. Wait, Kelly's not here.
Well, we're not, I didn't look.
I think we just patiently wait for her to come back and record the results.
Yeah, take another break, talk amongst yourselves, pick a topic.
Can do nothing without our secretary. That's right.
Well, I'm gonna. We have a motion to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Our agenda is approved. Item 4.01 is the consent agenda. For efficiency, the school board utilizes a consent agenda. Items placed on the consent agenda are routine in nature or are among the many decisions that the board has already determined are in the domain of the administration. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda. I second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 4.02, approval of, I'm sorry. Duh. Item 6.01. We have a first reading for policy changes. Actually, this policy, when we looked it over, it was just correcting some outdated language. Was there any other questions you had about this one that we want to discuss before next?
Kids these days don't use CD-ROMs.
I don't think they know what a CD-ROM is.
Floppy disks, all that kind of stuff.
Any other discussion or questions? We will vote on it then next month. What? I'm stalling. It's like, that's not right. Item 7. Item 7.01, our financial report. Golly, did you even have any?
Usually I have a little bit of time over
Yeah,
here.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my goodness, this is beautiful. All right, so
Look how efficient we are when Jason's not here.
if we go down to, I think, the third page there, Chris, if you don't mind. Yes, please. That shows you a year end, as far as year end from January. What you'll notice on there, a few things. One, obviously, all of the tax revenue for those that have paid their taxes at this point in time, which is a significant portion of the population, has come in. If we were to calculate the general, the self-insurance, adult education special, food service and student activities, all makes up the unrestricted fund balance. Calculate that out, we're sitting very well in comparison to what our expectation was for tax revenue that was being brought in this year, meaning we are right where we want to be. So obviously, you know, that revenue has to extend us all the way through payroll in December of next year. So our goals always sit at 20%. We don't have an anticipation yet for you on where we're going to land, but I do anticipate us being over 20% without issue. The one area that you'll see that looks high right now is self-insurance. It's sitting at $3 million. That does add to that unrestricted fund balance. It's not that high. What we did was we had some rebates come in from prescription drug claims that we take part in. Not that we ask for those, but it's certainly something that the company gives back to all parties, the school district just being one of those. Without some of the expenditures hitting this month, they will hit next month. So we anticipate that going down probably $750,000 to $800,000 Not a huge deal, but something I thought was important to bring to your attention. So a couple of things with tax revenue right now, though, that I want to be very clear on. Next year is a non-assessed year. Projected growth for our assessed valuation is 0.65%. That doesn't mean a whole lot to people unless I can put it in a number for you. So 0.65%, if we have the same tax rate that we have this year, which I anticipate the tax rate being extremely close since the assessed valuation isn't going to grow significantly. Remember, if it grows significantly, it'll go down. If we lose, it'll go up. We look at, if it stays preliminary assessed valuation stays that, we look to grow $490,000 in revenue. We are in negotiations right now. Obviously, negotiations means a significant increase in spending due to what we all want, an increase in salaries. And so right now, if we land at, just say, ballpark, 1.3 million additional in salaries, we know that unrestricted fund balance could potentially drop with that growth, we're looking at over 1%. We finished at 21.7 this year. So those are factors that we have to consider, that I have to consider, particularly when it comes to request. Not saying that I have the authority to say no, I just have the authority to advise, right? So those are factors. The other factors that I think are important, I haven't got it out yet, but is all the state legislation. As you guys know, the legislative session is in full power right now, full debate. And there's a couple of things to take note of on this, if I can find it. House Bill 1989 is open enrollment. That is something, obviously, that the House of Representatives want to see through. We believe, when I say we, I mean the people that are in charge of advising us on legislative issues, because I do not watch them, believes that this will be a leverage with the Senate to try to get this bill pushed through. Open enrollment is basically by design for public schools to transfer state money, not local money, but state money, which was about $6,300 per year per student. They are having conversations about growing that state adequacy target. If you talk to the deputy commissioner at DESE, they will say we want that grown to 7,100 because it hasn't been touched in nearly 20 years. You hear some of the legislators speak, they'll say that's about 6,700 is where they need to land that at. So that money would follow the student. I give no claims to have an opinion on that, but I think it's important for a consideration when we say there's a lot of unknowns legislatively. The other one is Senate Bill 727. This is one that's kind of in limbo, but this is a desire to increase charter schools and or voucher systems throughout the state of Missouri. So that's something that we have to closely watch as well, because again, that's a loss in revenue back to this district if in fact that does go through. So that creates uncertainty on our end. The other one is Senate Bill 799. There's a lot of bills, guys. I'm not even making it up here, how many there are, but these are the focus ones. Senate Bill 799 is if the vehicle is 12 years of age or older, it has no personal property tax value anymore. So I reached out to the assessor on that and said, hey, if this were to go through, what would that mean for our district? Pop back very quickly, 17,703 vehicles, 2012 years of age or older. Total market value of $57,379,432. An assessed valuation then of what we were able to put our property tax on of $19,129,485. If that bill were to go through, again, making no opinion, giving no opinion, but giving fact, if that bill were to go through, that's a loss of $731,212 to the school district. These are potential bills or legislation that can be approved. Will they? No clue. I have no idea. But those are factors that we have to consider because if they are approved by the Senate and the House, that's something that we certainly do not want to scramble. Now, mind you, these, the Senate Bill 190, they will call it the Senior Citizen Bill. My apologies, but that's what they're calling it. Which we said, we're not getting in a generational warfare about what's good for one generation versus the next. Absolutely not, staying out of that. But in listening to experts on that, there is still, to this day, no understanding of the financial impact that that bill will have on local agencies. That's school district, that's police, that's EMT, that's library, that's what you know, all the local funding dollars. So, whereas I can pretty much say, like right now, yes, we're looking good. We're in negotiations. We're talking about salary increases, obviously benefits increase as well during this time period. There are things to be cautious about, and that's something that we just don't want to, that I just simply don't want to overlook. Those are things that I think are important for us to at least be aware of. And again, I don't want anyone hearing that I'm saying this is bad or this is bad or this is bad, but from a financial picture, obviously we would have, if any of these are passed, we would have to redirect our energy very, very quickly in order to not absorb or not to put ourselves in a poor financial situation.
You know, Bill 1989, that open enrollment, we're looking at it for the financial impact, but just curriculum and planning classroom, it will be a disaster. I don't know how they can plan on even numbers of materials and textbooks and teachers, and things change.
We have no operational trend.
Yeah.
So it would be best educated guess that we could possibly take in order to understand the impact.
Yeah, it's
So
unintended consequences.
a couple of other things real quick, if you don't mind.
No. Sorry.
Construction, looking great so far as hitting deadlines. We have the Big Knoll project that we hope to finish up by the end of this late spring, early summer. And then the Lincoln job, we anticipating that being finished in the middle of July, which I just want to smile about right now, but I also want to knock on wood because it'll be the first year that I've ever been in this role where we're not pushing it right up to the last day. So I'm hoping that that's accurate. The second thing is we received a safety grant or for safety and security, $250,000 for that safety grant. The district has done a remarkable job of putting things in place through bond issue money over the past decade, I want to say, to where, you know, we have all of the safe defend boxes that a lot of local schools are just now putting in and bonding out for that. We don't have to spend that money in those areas because we already have. One of the areas that we are going to spend that money at, though, for this is security laminate over areas in our buildings with lots of glass that would be bullet resistant, meaning it captures the bullet. It's not seen, it's not visible, but I think if we have the funding, and it's state funding, and the purchase is through TIPS, it's through governmental purchasing, I believe that's the best course of action for us in order to ensure that our buildings are safe and they are secured to the best means possible. So just wanted to update the board on that as well. Obviously not something that we desire to do. You know, it's not something that we even want to wrap our minds around, but it's something that we think is beneficial for all of our buildings, our students and our staff. Thank you.
Any questions?
No, just two statements. One, you better knock on wood. The project's not over yet, so could still
I shouldn't have said it.
go into the next school year. And it's always nice to hear numbers while we're all awake instead of at the end, right? Way more enthusiasm. I move to approve the district financial report as presented.
I second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Move to adjourn the meeting.
I second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned 7:30. Nice job, Rodney.
Thank you.